Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today, Tuesday, August 12th, 2025. Well, it's a big one. At 10 a.m. coming up, the oral arguments in the class action about conditions in 26 Fed Plaza. Yesterday, late in the day, the government filed its response to the request for injunctive relief about conditions. And they said that there's 4 rooms on the 10th floor. One's 800 square feet, one's 600, 2 are below 200 square feet, and the total capacity when you add the 4 together is 154 people. That's a lot of people. So we'll see. Judge Kaplan is holding it at 10 a.m. At 10:30, out of the blue, we didn't know it yesterday morning, and then it was announced, and then it was quietly docketed. Kwon of Terraform Labs and Luna fame will be pleading guilty at 10:30. We're going to be covering that too. We're going to be juggling 2 things. Kwon, it's big. There's a lot of people waiting, I guess, to get repaid. We wrote a book about it. It's called Kwon, Can Luna Rise Again? Crypto Death Spiral. Now there won't be a trial, it appears. Another guilty plea, I think, or at least it's called a proceeding of interest. Maybe they're going to drop it. Mohammed Mahi, he was the community affairs officer for Eric Adams that arranged various straw donations. Well, he was queued up to plead guilty, and then the case against Adams was dropped. But they couldn't drop the case against him, so they kept continuing it. Today, 2 o'clock in front of Judge Ho, something will occur. And we will, of course, report on it. Meanwhile, and also in crypto news, Roman Storm. Yesterday, the government kind of slyly said our retrial on the 2 charges on which they couldn't reach unanimity will extend the time for it until the motions for a new trial on and for an acquittal on count 2 are filed. It ends in November, and there'll be a hearing in December. But they basically are still holding it out there. They might put them on trial again. So that seems troubling, newsworthy. There it is. Now, we did a filing last night. We do this as they're required. People may not remember the case, but it's the famous Yoga to the People case. This was a seemingly progressive yoga operation on the Lower East Side and elsewhere that they found later was just, they had like cash counters. It was like incredible. The main guy, Gamuccio, has pled guilty, and he got 4 years. Now his co-defendant, Heather Haven Solomon, last night her lawyer, 2 lawyers, long-standing CJA lawyers here, put in a sentencing submission that was more than half redacted. They're making a plea for time served, no jail time, based on some kind of psychological or historical trauma, and that's all. It's absolutely an argument that they're allowed to make. But what they're not allowed to do is to redact all of it, because the courts are public, and we need to know when sentences are, if somebody gets 4 years and somebody gets 0, we need to know why. You can't black it all out. So we've emailed very politely a letter to the judge, John P. Cronin, and to counsel, and to the prosecutor. The prosecutor took no position, and I think that's wrong. Under previous administration at the U.S. Attorney's Office, I've said to them, you need to take a position. If the law is that criminal cases are open, it's not enough to say we take no position on your sealing. Oh, look. So, well, that's pending. Meanwhile, at the United Nations, Antonio Guterres is missing in action. He's nowhere. He's just putting out statements from an undisclosed vacation. But his former crony, Volker Turk, we keep getting complaints about it. Volker Turk is trying to move the office to Vienna. He wants to run for office. It's amazing. A man who was basically a pencil pusher has become the main voice of human rights, except that it's just canned statements. It's, from what I've heard, and we're going to publish the whistleblower's complaints, just pure ambition and madness. He says that because their people are getting pushed around, he wants people to move around. He wants them to move to Vienna, but he also, if not, wants them to move office to office. The UN is a travesty, and this is a litmus test to get back in, as we said yesterday. Now look across the street. The reason I paused here is because, look, it's Modi. Today, beginning at 9 o'clock, taking place right as we speak, Gupta, the man charged with murder for hire of a Khalistani leader, is trying to suppress his phone in the Czech Republic. We're heading up to see that, but you can see it behind me. Modi. To be continued.